Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapbookingWithMe.com and Me Crafty Scrapper here on YouTube and Instagram. Also, Me Crafty Scrapper Creates on Facebook. I have a business page over there now, so go over and follow or like or whatever you do on a Facebook page. Nowadays, Facebook is changing so much, you never know. Today we are going to make two mini journals, and they're going to be square. I've been wanting to make some of these for a while now. Usually when you make a like a half sheet journal, junk journal, you are doing like the 8.5 tall, so that's a half sheet, and then you're just folding it in half, and that's your basic junk journal. This one I wanted to make square, so I've got a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock here that's going to be my cover, and this is just going to be a basic journal, pretty much a signature. You could add a hardcover to the outside of this if you wanted to, but this is just your basic kind of soft cover journal. And this paper came from the Stamperia You and Me collection, but this is the backgrounds. This is not the actual wedding looking with the cake and all that stuff. This is the background selection. And this has been very popular in the shop, and I think I've done 3 different orders for this collection. It's a very soft, kind of muted mauves and rosy colors, but it's got the beige and the brown in it too. So it's a very nice junk journal-ish kind of color scheme. So that's where my paper came from. I'm going to get my trimmer and going to make one cut on this. And it's going to be at the 6-inch mark. Then we're going to fold it in half. So this is a mini journal, but as you can see, it's going to be 6 inches by 6 inches. So it's not like micro mini or anything. Plenty of things could be done in this, and you don't have to write tiny in this if you're going to use it as a writer's journal at all, because there's plenty of space. So you know those 6 by 6 paper pads that you get, that's essentially what we're working with here. We got a 6 by 6 6 by 6, and that's what we're going to make. We're going to make 2 of them, and both of them will be for sale in the shop at scrapbookingwithme.com. We've had quite a few requests for just basic journals put together, not inked, not decorated, anything, just putting the journal together. So essentially binding the book and then just having it for sale in the shop. Quite a few requests for that. So we thought we would go ahead and do that for a few people. And I was going to be sitting at my craft desk anyway, so I'm just bringing y'all along. We're going to do maybe 1 sheet of this pinky paper, and I'm not worried about that because we're cutting it down, but it goes right along with this. So I'm going to do a sheet of that for each, and then we're going to do book pages, of course. I've got some book pages that are kind of a purpley, but they've got some dolly impressions on them, like that. So there's some paper. Ooh, that one's a little too grungy for this one. Let's try to find one that's just pinky. There we go. There's a pinky. All right, and let's get some ledger paper that whoever gets this can ink the edges or splatter with ink or whatever they want to do. but ledger paper is always cute in a journal, if you ask me anyway. And this ledger paper I just got from Walmart in the office supply aisle. Okay, and then let's get some regular book page that's not so dyed, because that one is very, very dyed. Let's do that one, and maybe we can find one that's not too torn, because I like keeping the ones that are totally torn. Okay, here's one. Barely has any kind of writing on it. So let's get that one for this. And then just some, let's do some of this. We can do a small sheet of this handmade paper in each one. So I could cut this in half and use that in there like that. So let's do that. One sheet of that in each one. And then let's do, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's do quite a few pieces of tea stain paper. Alright, so I'm not going to round the corners or anything. I'm going to let the recipient do that, whatever they would like to do. I've also got some dot grid paper that I think I will just cut down the middle. So we've got, these are almost 12 inches. So let's do like 6 1/4. I'm not too broken up if we're not exact. Let's cut it down the middle, about middle. And then when we fold this over, it's going to go in there. It's going to be a little shorter pages, but I like that. And then let's make sure that we're not taller. Of course, I should have thought of that when I cut it at 6 1/4, huh? Make sure that we're not taller than our cover is. So we'll need to go in here and trim that. Make sure, let's go ahead and trim it down a little bit more. Even though it is 6 inches, we don't want this sticking out over the cover. So we've got plenty of room there, top and bottom. So we'll have one of these sheets. There's a taller one. And then there's a shorter one, taller one, shorter one. Since we are making 2, double the fun today. We're doing double the fun. Let's go ahead and do this drawing sheet. And let's cut it at 5 1/4. And then fold it over. We'll be fine. We'll have plenty of space. So there's one. And cut this other one at 5 1/4. Ooh, I really like that edge. Let's do that edge there. And we can save this other in our scrap pile. Nice. Okay, there's that for that. I'm going to put these off to the side just for a minute until we get done cutting all of our pieces. Now, if you're wanting to make your own basic journal, then you can go right along with me and do this yourself. Let's see, this one is right at, this book page is a big book page. It's right at 6 inches tall, so let's trim this one down just a tad bit. Put that in there. This one is from the same book, so let's go a little bit shorter on that one. There. And then these book pages are good. We're good on those, so let's put those in there. Or stack them anyway for right now. Alright, so this is a regular piece of copy paper. So we're looking at US terms. This is 8.5 by 11. So we need, because even folded, we're going to get a half sheet, and that's a normal size journal. But with this one, our dimensions are 6 by 6. So we need to cut this down some, and I've got a tear on this side, so let's just go ahead and trim that tear off, and I will keep this little beauty in my scrap pile because I love that. And now we're looking at 10 inches wide, so then if we cut it at 5 3/4, I want to leave that on there, so 5 3/4 by 10. So that's a good size piece. Let's go ahead and cut one more at that same size. Okay, so there's that one. And then let's try to get a couple of pieces that are pretty much the same size as this. So we're going to leave the length, and we're just going to trim down the height of it. So just right under 6 inches. And we should be good on that. Even if we're not, we can trim it down just a little bit. Okay, so we're just trimming what our height will be. So just right under 6 inches. And then our ledger paper, we need to trim that. We're at 11 inches, so we don't have to necessarily trim off the length. So let's trim off the height to 5 1/2. So like that. I like that. I like how that looks trimmed like that. So 5 1/2. Okay. And remember, when you are adding pages to a journal, you're turning them sideways, so the height and the width get jumbled up, you know, when you're doing this. Okay, so this one, as far as the length goes, we're good because it's a regular piece of copy paper. Let's go for 5 3/4 on this one by 11. And then let's do this one. Let's trim off just a tad to get that torn edge off of our length. So this one will be a little shorter page. Well, this one is going to be a quite grungy page because my trimmer didn't like it. But I'm okay with that too. It's going to have a little grunge to it. And then let's trim off at right under 6 inches. There we go. So a little bit grungier of a piece. All right, and then we can't forget doilies, so let's put a doily in each signature. And then I have these bags I was given from, I think it is a customer, and they had these from their pharmacy, and they gave them a bunch of empty bags. And these are like perfect dimensions for these little minis. They're 5 inches wide by like 10 3/4 long. So they will work nicely. So what we'll do is the recipient of these can make pockets out of them. I like putting at least one bag in each of my journal signatures, and all I do is just trim off that one end, and this one wanted to be a little mean. There we go. Just trim off that one end, and when you put it in the signature, you've got a pocket on this side and you've got a pocket on this side. Okay, so that is that. Let's trim off this end here. All right, so when you're working with mini journals, you do have to trim off the stuff a little bit more as far as the pages and stuff. When you're making a half sheet journal, you know, you just fold your copy paper. If you're in the US and it's 8.5 by 11, you just fold that copy paper in half and you've got your signature started. On a mini, you do have to cut it down a little bit, but I think it's worth it. I love making mini journals, especially out of 12 by 12 cardstock. So now we need to organize these papers in whatever order we want. I think I want that to be the first page, and then let's go ahead and put this one in the middle there, and then let's do this pink one. I'm doing these separately because I don't want them to be lined up exactly the same way. And let's do the ledger paper and then the doily, and I'm going to face the doily. This is the front of the doily. You can feel on doilies. This is the back. Putting the back toward me, so back is face up. And then one of the book pages, I like the torn edge up. And then let's go ahead and do this little sheet here on top of that, so we'll have two almost identical. And then let's do our bag, and I want the back of the bag toward me. Let's do this. Let's go bag, then this, then our handmade paper, and let's do it that way. And then this coffee dyed paper, and then our nice book page. I like that on the outside. It's got that doily imprint. Will be our center. Okay, I like that. I like how that looks. And let's go ahead and fold in half. And you can fold everything in half individually if you want to. But if you've got it all set up how you want it and it's all in the middle, it works just to do it like that. Then you can go through, see how it's going to look. I like the different layers, smaller, larger, things like that. I like that. That's pretty. I like how the doily's sitting. And then that smaller, little smaller, larger, and then our nice little book page in the middle. I like that. And then my little signature in the signature is a little piece of lace or something right down the middle. I'll cut this down a little bit. I might be able to put this inside of both. It looks like I could probably do that. Let's see how big this is. This is, oh yeah, about 13.5 inches. So I'm going to go about yay and trim that lace, and we'll have a piece of lace in the middle of each signature. We'll sew that in down through there. I like that. Now let's look and see how this looks inside of our cover, and we're good there. We don't have anything overhanging. I like that. And then there's plenty of room to add lace or ruffles or something like that to the edge of the page too, for it to stick out past that cover. I like that. And what we'll do, we'll make some basic long pockets on the inside covers, and we'll sew that signature in, and that'll be our basic journal that we're gonna give away, not give away, we're gonna sell. I don't work for free, that's for sure. Let's see here. Okay, for this one, what do I want as my front? For that one, I had that nice dark tea stained front. I really like this doily. And I think, yep, that's going to be my front. So I'm going to do that face down like that. And then I want the bag close to the front. So let's do this book page. Yep, like that. And then ledger paper like this, bag there, and then this here, tea stain paper and dolly facing away from me. And let's see what's going to be our middle. I think this can be, let's go handmade paper, more coffee dyed paper or tea stain paper, dot grid, and then our book page that's pretty much blank except for that. So how do I want that? Yep, let's do it like that. And then we'll have this in the middle. And I've got it all lined up like I want it, so let's go ahead and fold it over. Try to get it right down the middle. Okay. Oh, I love that. I like how the dolly's kind of sticking out up top, but let's see if we can pull it down just a little bit. Just a touch. So it's not sticking out too much. And let's go through here and see how we like it, how it's looking. Yes, I like that. Look at that paper. Love that. And then we've got the dolly, that. Yep. I like that. Let's do, just so that we can get a little bit of something in there. A little different piece. Let's fold that in half. Anytime you're making a signature and you feel like, that needs something, just fold up another piece of something, and it can be tiny. It doesn't have to be anything large. And I think this really needs this right behind the middle of that signature. Let's go down the middle part of that there. Yep, I think that's needed. So let's just barely trim the end of that off so it's not sticking out on top of everything. And I think what I'm going to do is, let's tear it. Give it a nice look on the edges. I like that. And goes right back behind our middle part of our signature. Flush down in there, see? And then have that little piece of lace down the middle. I like that. Okay, let's do that on this one too. Yep. Go ahead and do that on this one. It will give it a little bit of character, and just that one little piece is not going to make it look identical to the other one. Okay, and then just tear off a little bit to give it a little more character. And put it right behind our middle part of our signature. Yeah, I like that. just a little extra something in there, and we can make pockets on that if we wanted to, just right on it if we wanted to. We could add flip ups to it. I like that. Okay, so there's that signature made up. Here's this signature made up. Let's see how it looks inside of this cover. Nice, nothing is sticking out past the cover, top or bottom or side. Very pretty. I like these. So let's get our bone folder and really crease that down. And then we're going to get our big jumbo clips, and I have these linked in my Amazon storefront in the description box below, so if you need some jumbo clips. Alright, I'm going to open this up, try to keep everything where it needs to be, nothing moving around. There's one side of my signature and then the other side of my signature. I'm going to clip it to the actual cover, and I'm going to get my T-square ruler and pop that down really good in the spine. So when you open it up, you can see that it is down in that spine, and we're not going to have any problems with getting that put in there. And you want to look through your signature just to make sure that everything is in the middle and sitting like you want it to sit before you start to do your binding. Okay, I'm good there. Let's get this one nice and pop down in there, holding the one side, clipping it in, and then holding the other side. I just like to go from the bottom to the top and the top to the bottom on each side. Then you're going to close it up and make sure you're not getting any kind of warping or resistance from any of your pages. I'm good there. Got a little bit that's wanting to come up over the top of this signature, so I'm going to move that down some. Okay, that fixed that. Okay, then I'm going to look through, make sure nothing in here needs to be moved around. Everything's pretty much in middle that I want in middle. Where did that dolly go? Let's look at that dolly. Okay, there we go. Yep, we're good on that one. Okay, I'm going to pop that down just a little bit more and get my foam platform. And I am going to use just some regular, like a hemp thread. It's more than 5 millimeters. It's a little thicker, but I'm going to use this because I want to do a little something different with the binding in of this signature. Instead of the bow being on the inside, I want it to be on the outside, and then we're going to have to figure out how we're going to put that ribbon in there, because usually what I do is I tie that around the knot, but I'll just tie it in with the needle when I do that. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. Okay, so there's one, here's one. Let's go ahead and get our holes done. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I don't usually measure this at all, but I just make sure that we're going through the middle of the spine there, and we did, and then coming back. And I don't like going really close down here because it tends to stretch more, and then you get some buckling on your spine, and you get quite a bit of resistance when you're tying that thread in too, so I don't like going down too far, but I do want to make sure that I get in that spine in the middle of it, and I am. Good, good, good. Thought that one might go a little astray because I was having to struggle a little bit with that one, huh? Okay. And then through the middle of the spine there, we are good. We're going to get our needle. And we're going to do 3 links of the journal itself. And then we're going to thread our needle. I thought that would be a little harder than it was, but it's not. All right, I'm going to go, usually what I do is I go in and then do my binding. I'm going to go in from the outside. I'm going to hold everything together and hopefully come through the middle, and we did. I love it when a plan comes together. Alright, so then we're going to pull, pull, pull. It's a big needle, so you just have to pull through all of your layers, and then you've got some, I'm using some thick thread too. So then I'm going to pull this out this way, so I've got plenty of room out here to make myself a nice bow. Okay, and then we're going to go through here, and since it's a 6-inch and not an 8.5-inch tall journal, this binding works well with this. And now we just got to get it, that big needle, through all of those layers and through our spine. I can already feel it. There it comes. Okay, all the way through. Good. And then I'm going to put my book together, put my needle through, and hopefully come out in the middle on this side too. Okay, I'm through there. Let's pull our thread a little tightly. Make sure we got everything in that. And then we're going to go back through the middle. And then we'll tighten everything up when we get back through this middle again. There we go. All right. I like that. I like how that looks. I like the string on the outside. That's nice and pretty right there too. Now, what we need to do is come back through this and go through our lace. So I'm going to take my needle off. I forgot about that. Let's put our needle back on, and then we're going to figure out where we want to position that lace. We're just going to poke a hole through the middle of the lace and get that put in there. There we go. And then back through middle should be very easy. There it was. And then pull through. Yep. Oh yeah, that works. There we go. We can lay it that way. Once we get that string tight in there, we should be good on the lace part. So I've got one of the strings on one side and one of the strings on the other side, and I'm going to pull and pull and pull and get everything tight. And on the inside here, you might have to pull out on a string and then pull this string just to get everything nice and tight. And then you're going to tie a bow over the top of that, so you should be fine. But don't pull too hard, because then you're going to get some resistance and tearing there. I'm going to pull this off just for a second so that I can look and make sure that everything that is down here got caught by that needle, because it felt like something might not have gotten in on it. But no, it looks right. Okay, so I can leave that off. And I'm going to look and make sure that my lace looks all right that way. And it does. It's fine like that. I've never done my little signature thing in a signature, the lace that way. I've always tied my bow on the inside. So now I'm tying my bow on the outside, and I'm just doing one knot and tying the bow. That way, if the recipient wants to take anything, any of these pages out of the signature, they can. They don't have to leave all of that in there if they don't want to, or they can add to it. They just have to take that off, get a big, blunt, big-eyed needle, and they can restring that if they want to. They can take the lace out if they want to, whatever. So I just did one knot and then tied a bow. So there is that one. Let's go ahead and get this other one. Get my awl, and let's start the process of getting this one binded. Alright, I'm through the center there, and I'm going to do my 3 links and go ahead and get this one bound, and then I'll give you a flip through of both, and we'll get these listed on the website. Alright, so here are the 2 little mini journals. I don't guess I have to say little in front of mini, do I? Since they mean the same thing. So 2 mini journals that are square. They're 6 by 6. We also need to put in our just the one basic little tuck pocket. We're going to do that in just a minute. But here is the flip through of this one. Now this one has the border at the bottom of it, so that will distinguish them in the shop. I'll have 2 different listings for them. So nice basic, to me basic anyway, journal. There's your little lace in the middle. And then the backs of everything. Then our nice little bag pocket. Because I think every journal needs a bag pocket. So I try to include that in all of mine. Now this is the one no border at the bottom. And that was just how the 12 by 12 paper came. So one has a border at the bottom and one does not. So they're basically the same thing, have the same papers in them, but they're not aligned the same way. Nice little dolly look to that paper. And then there's your lace in the middle. I love this. I love those bags. I need to use one of those in one of my journals. So there are those. And then for our pockets on the inside, like I said, I'm not going to do anything spectacular, but I am going to put some long just tuck pockets here, so anything and everything can be tucked in that way. I think that this calls for that, just to have that on there. Okay, I have this 6 by 6 paper here that I thought would look really nice inside there. So let's do 3 inches, And let's look and see if we need to make them a little more narrow. And I don't think so. I think that looks nice. You'll be able to get quite a bit of stuff in there. I don't want to ink them because I want the recipient to be able to do that themselves. That's going to make a cute tuck pocket. And I think what I'll do is just make the tiniest of little thumb notch, and then they can come in and do what they need to as far as inking if they want to do that. So 3 inches, I'm going to give myself a little mark. That one's going to be on the front, this one's going to be on the back. So where's my mark? Here. Alright, little bitty, just a little thin thumb notch, nothing major. And then I'm just going to glue this in. Scoot that over. I've still got to cut this other paper, so I don't want to take my thing off yet, my trimmer down yet. I'm just going to do a little bitty tiny liquid glue line. Hey, I drove that pretty straight, except for that one little off ramp I had right there. I'm going to go right up against the edge of my cover, and then use my messy rag to get off any excess and make sure we're pretty lined up. Nothing needs to be moved. I think we're good. That's good. Look at there. Once it dries, little pocket there. They could even add on another pocket on top of that if they wanted to. I just couldn't make a journal without putting at least one pocket in. So they're getting a basic journal with their inside cover pockets already made. They just got to decorate them and ink them if they want to. Okay. I drove that glue pretty good too. Right up to the edge. And bring it down just a touch. And once they ink around, you won't even be able to see where that pocket starts and the cover begins. So I love that one. Okay, so the bird pockets went into the one without the border on it. Okay, so that's the one with the bird pockets on front and back. I really like that. Okay, so there's that one done. Those pockets just need to dry. And then for this one, I'm thinking of doing something a little different with this one. And I want to fussy cut around this. I'm going to leave that rose because that's going extremely too far over, but I'm going to fussy cut around this part, the flowers and the teapot. This is some paper that I had from a Coco Rosa order. They have some cute paper, but now this paper that I'm using is got a white background. It's not double-sided, so I'm not losing any kind of design on the back side. Alright, and then fussy cut around this bigger flower here. I'm just going to see how this looks. If it doesn't look right, then we'll go with another sheet of paper and go just like we did, simple on the other one like we did. But I just had this idea and I wanted to see how it went. Okay, and that's as far over as I'm going to fussy cut. And then I'm going to trim way down to that flower. Look at that. That worked out almost perfectly. Now let's just see how it looks. If it looks goofy, then we won't do it. Oh, y'all, I love that, especially with that pink first page. That's pretty. And it does need some inking done to it. But I'm just going to glue just a little bit so they'll still be able to pull this up and ink that. But I am going to just barely corner round that, just with the tiniest little corner round, because I just believe it would be a lot nicer looking. Oh, yes, look at that. Oh, I love that, y'all. Isn't that pretty? There's a little tuck pocket right there. I love it. Okay, we're gluing it in. And like I said, they will have enough room where they can pick up the edge and ink it if they want to. I'm not going to go all the way. Okay. And then add in our front pocket. Our front unique pocket. That is just darling. I love that. I'm loving it so much I might keep it myself. No, I am selling it. I am selling it. I am selling it. Okay. Oh, I love that. Y'all. Too cute. Alright, and then this back one. Let's see if we can get most of that rose. Oh yeah, look at that. And then it kind of continues on to the back, and then this one will be a little bit wider. Let's get them a notch popped in there. Just a little shallow one. Little notch. There we go. And then let's go ahead on this one and just do that barely little bit of rounded corner there. Oh yeah, that makes that very pretty. Okay, and a little bit of glue, just tiny little line if I can get it done. I've done pretty good. Y'all know usually I'm a 1/8 inch score tape kind of person, but these little minis called for a little bit smaller of a glue line, so that's nice. Oh, pretty pocket. Yeah. Very pretty pocket. Yep. Nice. So there's the front pocket of this one with the border at the bottom, and the back pocket, and then this one without the border, bird pocket in the front, and then double bird pocket in the back. All right, so there are my two mini 6x6 journals that I've made, just basic journals ready for whomever would like them, and I hope whoever gets them loves them, and they can even add their own little touches to everything. I've just done just a few little things that I would normally Melina it up and do. So I hope they enjoy my process and what I did in their journal that they buy. And I plan on doing quite a few more of these, but I love these little square journals. Those are nice. 6x6. Great little journals for beginners, or even adding a hardcover on for our intermediate intermediate and expert journalers that we have out there can use these too. And it's got papers that I dyed myself. Hand-dyed papers by Melina inside these little journals. Y'all have a great day. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, and press that like button. Y'all have a great day. Love ya. God bless. Bye, y'all.